Okay, in this lesson we're going to talk about cutting out unnecessary or redundant words. And in academic writing, they value conciseness. That is, words have to be able to express a particular meaning or they're not necessary. Often when you write an academic paper, you may be under a word limit. For example, an abstract or a paper you want to publish, they give you a specific word limit. So one of the ways you can get under that limit is to make sure every word counts. So we're going to go through some examples of this before you work on your homework. So the first example is expressions like, I have to admit that. Now, in this expression, this is a very important one that we want you to focus on because it does have a rhetorical purpose, but we want you to see that anything that you write down is what you admit or what you would think or what your opinion is. So you never have to say this is your opinion or this is what you think. So these kinds of expressions can always be cut. One needs to concentrate on a certain field and try to the best to be better, okay? And again, you only need one better. Better and better is a little too much. In the second example, the whole quantity of resources. And again, words like whole are also going to be unnecessary because quantity means everything unless you qualify it to be less. But if you're not qualifying it, you don't need to say the whole qualified. So that's a redundant verb. The need from every aspect. The problem with a word like aspect is it's not clear what it means. So what you need here, maybe instead of every aspect, is some other word, or just kind of remove this whole expression. Who equally support the needs. Don't need this word either. So I can get rid of all of these words. And again, normally you qualify something, meaning partially, but if you don't mean partially, if you mean the whole thing, you don't need to put anything. Sometimes when we speak, and this is another very important idea, there's a difference between spoken and written English. And often extra redundant words in spoken English are important because they give more emphasis. But in written English, you don't usually give that kind of emphasis, particularly in academic writing. Now, one of my pet peeves in writing is beginning sentences with the word and. And doesn't mean anything. It joins things together, but it doesn't show any relationship. And particularly in this sentence, you have the word this. This is the word that actually connects this sentence to the previous sentence. So and this is redundant. Make a plan about. This is one of those instances where when you say, where you have a noun plan that also can be used as a verb, you should use the verb. So there's a need to plan how to divide the use of these resources. Usually we need to figure out, and figure out, normally 2 words is less formal than 1 word. That's a general rule in English. So if in a so when you have a word, particularly with a position, and maybe show the aspect, rather than finger out. So one word is more formal than two words. And then this certain aspect. So again, and then means nothing. So you can get rid of and then. And the word certain, again, certain doesn't explain anything. It doesn't have any meaning. And also here, the word this aspect is certain. So this certain aspect, the word certain is redundant. So you can get rid of that word. So here, more and more, doesn't add really any specific meaning. And particularly with the word new, new means there are more, something different, so you don't need more and more. So cut it out. Our daily lives, I don't know what other life we have, so daily and lives is redundant. And since we always get knowledge from school, this one is, I don't like the word get. So you probably, this isn't really redundant, but I don't like it. So let's say we can obtain knowledge from school. Therefore, as far as I'm concerned, again, everything you write down is what you're concerned with. That's all you're saying. Unless it's somebody else in which you have to attribute it, everything on paper is your concern. So these kind of expressions are redundant and should be cut. Here, the expression in a word, I don't know what in a word means. First of all, the writer goes on to write a couple of long sentences. So that's really a meaningless expression. I'm not sure if it's used at the end of the paper. It might be in conclusion. Okay, they need to learn outside of school too. Well, you've already seen they can't study only from the classroom. Therefore, the word to here is redundant. And if you want to develop, then develop all of your sides. Now, again, all of your sides, I'm not sure what that means. So that can be, and you may want to put in another word, but you could just say, if you want to be successful, you should learn more from outside. Number 6, accomplishing something, whether big or small, is a self-rewarding thing. Now, first of all, if you accomplish it, it probably does help you, so self is redundant. And thing here, again, is one of those very vague words that's very informal, and you probably should never use in an academic paper. So, but in this case, you could say, accomplishing something is rewarding. You can just use the adjective. So there's no need to use this. Get rid of the A. So it's just is rewarding. And finally, in number 7, it is not always possible to compare two totally different. Totally is one of these words like very and specific and certain that really adds nothing. If they're different, they're different. You can't be very different. It's not clear what's the difference between totally different, very different, or just different. So again, this word is meaningless, so cut it out.